What is up, everybody? We have ourselves a new NWSL champion. Congratulations, Gotham FC, who defeat OL Reign 2-1 in the final to capture their first championship, NWSL championship in club history. Plenty of interesting things to get to here. First, though, unfortunately, Megan Rapinoe's final game ends in defeat and ends in an injury about 6 minutes in. Obviously, awful to see her go out that way. Could tell the devastation, so I just wanted to acknowledge that. Hopefully, she's able to recover quickly. And it is one of the interesting what ifs about this game because she did deliver a really good cross in the opening minute of the game. Maybe things play out differently if she is still on the field, but unfortunately, it was not meant to be. And so Megan Rapinoe's last game ends very, very early. And it is Gotham ultimately who get the opening goal through Lynn Williams. But all the work was done by Midge Purce, destroying not one, not two, but three defenders before setting up Williams for that goal. Soon after that, Rose Lavelle equalizes, and that was one of the interesting, unexpected things about this game for me. You look at these two teams, they hadn't conceded a goal. They're built on their defense. I didn't think we were going to get this entertaining of a game, to be quite honest. But one of the primary reasons that happened is that Gotham scored the opening goal. If OL Reign score that goal, they're going to sit there in their block, and maybe Gotham gets an equalizer, but you're not going to have quite the same open game. But because Gotham went ahead, and Gotham is not going to move away from their high line, all of a sudden you have Rose Lavelle getting to feast on a high line. She picked him apart time and time again. This time she was on the receiving end, making a really good run. Bethany Balcer plays her through. Terrific finish, and all of a sudden it's 1-1. And then it's Esther stepping up. Midge Purce again delivers the corner. Esther heads it home right before halftime, 2-1. It stays that way. Chaos at the end. You see a red card for Mandy Haught. That was a red. There's not too much to debate there. You got to put Neely Martin in net because you don't have any subs. But ultimately, Gotham survive. And to me, they were the better team in the game. And the game was played the way they wanted it to, which is always a big thing that I don't think gets evaluated enough, particularly in soccer. They are a team that's built on defense, that's built on their pace with Williams and Purce and those wingers. And they were able to take OL Reign out of what they wanted to do, which was to sit in that block and kind of just keep things calm. You give up the opening goal, all of a sudden, the complexion of the game changes, and there was not a lot happening before that goal either. You've got to give a tremendous amount of credit to Midge Purce. You didn't see that kind of moment coming, and all of a sudden, she just has a few moments of brilliance right there, and now all of a sudden you've got a different game, much more open, played the way Gotham wanted it to be, and ultimately they come out on top. That's part one. Part two, obviously, also congratulations, Ali Krieger. Somebody was going to get a fairy tale ending, and it is Ali Krieger who gets it. Also, really cool to see for some of these other people like Christine Mewis, who desperately just wanted to win something. You heard her talking about that heading into the World Cup. Now she has an NWSL championship. And of course, the overall, worst to first story here, which is where I want to spend a little bit of time. This doesn't happen without Yael Averbuch West, general manager, to go into the offseason and acquire the players they did. Williams, you can go down the list from there, Kelly O'Hara, Ali Krieger, all the experience. To add Jenna Neiswanger in the draft, Rookie of the Year. To make the coaching change and get what I would argue is a massive upgrade based on what I've heard talking to a couple players, based on what you see in terms of the defined style of play, so many things went right. They made a lot of aggressive moves, and all of them delivered. You got to give the general manager. I'm one of the first people to look at the front office and ask questions when things go poorly, because there's only so much coaches can do and only so much under players' control. You also got to give credit to the front office when you take a situation like the one this club was in and turn it into this, with all of these high profile and established players who expect to win, who expect excellence, completely changes the feel of this club. And now they have a championship to show for it. It's a tremendous story. And that starts with the leadership of Yael Averbuch West. So wanted to definitely acknowledge that as part of this. And it's also just a lesson. The margins in this league are incredibly slim. If you push the right buttons and you make some intelligent decisions and give your team a chance, you just never know. And it's not like they were spectacular from the very beginning of this playoff run, albeit, 3 games to the end of it. But that defense gives you a chance. And that's the final part of this for me. They didn't concede a goal until Lavelle's equalizer, which also means they never trailed. They didn't play a game at home. If you're going to have to play on the road, you're going to have to play in a difficult environment on the other end of the country, close to your opponent in terms of this game in San Diego. Starting with a really good defensive foundation, being able to play on the counter, to play in transition, and to hold on to the ball when you need to. Their possession stats are actually pretty good. But to be able to impose your will on teams through your defense is incredibly important. And that is what this team did really well. To me, that is kind of the story of how they did this. Is that they just frustrated teams. Teams couldn't score on them. And so you give yourself a chance when you're able to do that. And all of a sudden, sometimes weird goals go in. And all of a sudden, you find yourself in the championship game. You have a spectacular goal here that things just happen. You're giving yourself the opportunity. And then you get to the final. And the last point I'll make here is for both teams, the stars showed up. Because neither team got here with a bunch of goals from the Rose Lavelles, the Jordan Heidemas, the Megan Rapinos, the Jess Fishlocks, the Lynn Williams, the Asters, the Midge Purses of the world. It was the Veronica Latskos. It was the Delaney Sheehans, the Katie Naughtons getting their teams here. This game was going to be decided one way or the other if one of those sets of big-name attacking players thoroughly outplayed the other ones. And Gotham got the better combined performances. That all the front three were fantastic. Astaire pops up with a goal and does some really good things in terms of possession and link-up play. Lynn Williams was causing problems on the left-hand side. Obviously, she gets the opener. And Midge Purse was spectacular. They had no answer for what she was doing on the right side. I would still argue that Rose Lavelle might have been the best player on the field, which is also how OL Reign stayed in this game and nearly won it. She was good enough by herself to basically cancel out everything that Gotham got. But you also needed somebody on Gotham's side to rise to the occasion and to match what Rose Lavelle was giving on the other end of the field, and that was Midge Purse. Which is why, to me, Midge Purse was the most important player on the field. If you want to know why this game went the way it did, it's because Midge Purse almost scored a goal and was directly involved in both of Gotham's. She matched what Rose Lavelle was giving OL Reign. And you lose Megan Rapinoe early. Jess Fishlock doesn't have all that much of an impact. And so you've got this advantage in attack if you're Gotham because your big names showed up. Because this rebuilt team got everything right and those players delivered. And you continued to build on that team in the summer. And all of a sudden, your addition, who's played all of, I believe it was 7 games heading into this, scored in just one of them, gets the goal that ultimately wins you the championship. That is just not something you think of with this club when you think of their history. But that is who Gotham are right now. It is a credit to everybody from top to bottom. It's a terrific story. Congratulations to the Bats on capturing their first NWSL championship. Congratulations to Ali Krieger going out a champion. That is all for this recap of the NWSL final. Thank you so much for tuning in. Be sure to hit that subscribe button, and I will see you next time.